Hello and welcome. I am Raziel, and it is Wednesday, which makes it a fairy day. And today I am going to be talking about the dystopian age. I am going to focus on the dystopian age on this channel for quite a while now. I'll be covering dystopian wars and Wild West Exodus a lot. I will talk about Mantic, Warlord Games, and everyone else, but the focus of this channel will be the dystopian age. I like it. I think the setting's fantastic, and if you're into steampunk or Victorian age literature such as H.G. Wells, Charles Dickens, and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, I do think this would very much be up your alley. So, what is today's video? For today's video is what's in the Vault. The Vault is a very, very important plot point of the dystopian age. It's in Antarctica, it's surrounded by jungles, and it was discovered by the Enlightened. The Enlightened are the mad scientists of the setting. They are pretty much the main antagonists. Well, where the Hex is benignly evil, the Enlightened I consider very evil. They are some of the worst type of people you could imagine. They want to rule the world. They want to rule the world through science. Any area which is owned by the Enlightened isn't part of the countries it's in. They are completely separate. They govern themselves. And one of the worst things they did is during the All Wars is they armed both sides, which led to the All Wars going into a stalemate, I should say, for a long period of time. It wasn't until the defection of Nikola Tesla who finally broke the stalemate by giving the Union a lot better weapons, and also caused the destruction of Richmond. So there you go. That's pretty much what the Enlightened are, and what they're evil scientists. They like to twist and change people. They add cybernetics to people. They give people more heads. They can resurrect the dead and turn them into like a zombie type of thing. Like I said, they are a pretty evil faction, and they do also use the Hex as a weapon. So the Vault was discovered by Sturgeon. Sturgeon found this in Antarctica while exploring. He was quite surprised because around the Vault was a lot of jungle, given that he had just literally trekked through miles and miles of freezing cold weather, snow, winds, etc. to finally see this lush, growing jungle. So there is a form of, so we can see there's a bit of terraforming happening here. Now, I think what it is it's not human. We know it's not human. And I think it's the Watchers. I think it's definitely from the Watchers, not the Order. The reason I think this is because of one thing. The Order isn't interplanetary. They are interdimensional, which means if they need something, they can just go into their dimension and go back to the exact spot where they were. Whether it's so they can arm people quickly and efficiently without actually having to travel miles and miles and miles to do this. The Watchers aren't. They're interplanetary. Where they can teleport, they will not be able to go straight back to where they need to and back. They have to go to the right place. So this is why I think it's the Watchers. Now, when Sturgeon discovered the Vault, he has made many, many explorations within the Vault, and he has studied the Vault. He doesn't let anyone else into the Vault. He only selects a few, much to Carpathian's disgust that he's not allowed in the Vault. He really wants to get in. The Union really wants possession of the Vault because they don't know what's in it. Now, this is one of the interesting points. It's quite a philosophical point. Sturgeon knows what's in the Vault. He just doesn't know what it is. He has no idea. He has no idea what it is. Surrounding the Vault, they've discovered the mineral sturginium, which has been used to power generators, jet bikes, all the cool stuff, all the mechanical stuff. That's what it's used for. But what's actually in the Vault is an absolute surprise. They do not know what's in it. Now, Sturgeon does believe what's in the Vault is the birthright for humans, but also says that only a few should know what it is. And he has kept this very much secret. He did lose a friend within the Vault itself. The Vault has these massive labyrinthine corridors, which is starting to make sense onto what my theory is. Leonidas died in there, and his body's never been found, and that's about it. To be honest with you, that's Leonidas' death for you. It's quite underwhelming in my opinion. So, what do I think that's in the Vault? Now, I think it's from the Watchers that brought it to Earth, and because their first time they came to Earth, they ended up fighting the Spicker and the Order. The second time, they fought humans, and Leon Dupont managed to blow up one of their generators by dipping gold into water, what he believed was the Fountain of Youth. So, with this, they would continue to watch Earth to see how we'd advance technologically and see how we'd go. Now, why Antarctica for a start? For first reason, Sahara Desert has nomadic tribes, civilizations, traders, people crossing and travelling across it. It's deserted most of the time, but there's a good chance that someone might find it. And therefore, finding what's in it, jump in the evolution of humanity even further than the Watchers would like. They are a hegemony that believes in non-interference. Same with Antarctica. Though there's no actual life or, people who live in Antarctica, there is, however, people who live very, very... the Arctic, I should say, not Antarctica, the Arctic. Who live very, very close, such as Alaska and Greenland. So, again, the Arctic and the North Pole would be out of bounds because it would be too easily found. So Antarctica would be the best bet, with the only real places being close by is the very tip of Argentina and the very bottom of Australia, compared to Alaska, China, Russia, Alaska, Canada, Greenland and Russia, and even Norway and Sweden, with Scandinavia, So there's very little there close by. So what's actually in the vault? I think it's alien weaponry. I think it's the Watchers' armory. And the reason I think this is that, like I've said, their first experiences with humans, their first two experiences with humans, has ended up killing their kind. They killed different type of species that are in the Watchers' hegemony. So they would be prepared for this. So if they had to go to war, they would be ready. So when they make contact properly with Earth, they would come unarmed. They can use different sort of magic and psychic powers, but they would come unarmed, and then they would talk, with the world leaders. And should the humans get aggressive, they suddenly have a base of operations and a place they can attack from and get weapons. They can teleport from place to place, but they do need a place to teleport. Unlike the Order, which can just go into their dimension, go grab what they need, and come straight back, the Watchers need to be in a physical plane in our dimension. So having this armory on planet at all times in a place that's very, very desolate would make a lot of sense. Now the weapons would be in a massive interest to the Enlightened. They would like to know what's happening. The discovery of element 270 or sturgeonium, which helps power their generators, the machines, the Tesla bots, etc. Again, very, very helpful for the Enlightened. But, like I said, what's in the vault is only known to a few. The other thing I think is in the vault isn't just weapons. I think it's cryogenically frozen aliens. We know about the Vermilion, the Cerulean, the Viridian, the Greys, and the Amber. I think that's all of them. And we know about these species. And they're the ones that we see most in Wild West Exodus. We know this. But what I think is, there are species in there which are even stronger. Ones that we've not seen yet. A sort of last resort and ready army for the Watchers to come out and to start attacking should humans become aggressive. Having an army ready and waiting there on Earth, cryogenically frozen, makes a lot of sense. And we know the Watchers do cryogenically freeze their species. They don't have warp travel. They can only go up to the speed of light. But what they do is, while the ship's going through the speed of light, they cryogenically freeze everyone on board, and the ship travels on its own. So when it gets to its place, they're all removed from cryogenic stasis, and they're ready to do what they need to do. So this would make sense to have this on Earth as we see it. Again, should humans become aggressive, the Watchers would have basically an army ready to fight. So, in conclusion, because I got to round this video off now, What's in the vault? I believe it's an alien army and alien weapons and all the resources and everything they need to fight the Earth. Humans aren't part of the hegemony yet. Officially, they're on like a probationary period, so they wouldn't be able to unlock anything which would be considered dangerous without brute force. And never underestimate the inventiveness of humans, especially when it comes to brute force. One of the reasons that people believe the Watchers want humanity. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from this video about the dystopian age and it's got you interested in this setting. If you are interested in the setting, Wild West Exodus and Dystopian Wars are both available in Wayland Games. The link's in the description. Yes, I get commission, and you get free delivery after £20. Also, if I buy from Wayland Games, and I do a lot, I don't actually get commission from my own sales. So yeah, go give them a look. They're down below. There's loads of Watchers stuff. The Amber Clade is one of my favourites. It was a lovely kit to build and make. I like the Viridian Clade. I like the Magenta Alpha. They got some really nice models for the Watchers. And there's Forbidden Planet as well, for comics, DVDs, mangas, toys, plushies, etc. All geeky stuff. There's also my merchandise, t-shirts, stickers, comics, what everyone else does, and my comics themselves. Don't forget Skyforge, give that guy a click. I do not get paid for him, I want to support a friend of mine. And finally, there's my Patreon, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.